This isn't easy to learn, but this methodology will push you to your limit and beyond. Accelerate your cardio, strength, and skills training faster than a Ferrari in F1. It's the most unique element of our body weight strength and skills training, the cornerstone of Powerbatics and what helps our students at Pacific Rim Athletics get and stay so sharp no matter what age or level they're at. Known as katas, they're built on the foundation of thousands of years of proven history. And students, fighters, and athletes who integrate these into their training excel because of the power, coordination, and dexterity created as a byproduct. And I'll show you 3 secrets to implement today. And if you add these secrets to your training, you'll progress faster than Rocky chasing chickens with greased lightning. But people don't understand them. They won't do them. They have something called Kata Resistance, and then they lack the cardio, coordination, power, and dexterity humans are designed to possess, from kids all the way to adults later in life, just like the old Shaolin masters. You'll feel 25 years old in Pac-Rimian years. First secret, cardio just doesn't cut it when compared to kata training. A lot of people will do various forms of short burst or long form cardio, which is great, but gas when do something different outside their comfort zone or requires variability. In contrast to traditional aerobic activity and even anaerobic activity, katas can be some of the most vigorous, intense cardio training to be found. The goal is to execute a high degree of powerful physical movement in a short amount of time. This is usually 10 to 20 skills in 60 seconds or less. This provides excellent conditioning for other dynamic sports, real fighting situations, or even confidence and strength in daily life. Here's an example from Powerbatics. We'll let it play fully here as we continue our discussion. But the extent of kata training does not stop at anaerobic cardio, because long-form cardio is built by learning the kata and doing it over and over again, slowly, building the strength, flexibility, and skill simultaneously. There's also something very clever built into kata training that increases the intensity and value of the aerobic side that I'll share in a moment, so hang tight. These katas systematize complex training and, most importantly, make it safe. And even perhaps more importantly, makes it family friendly for both training and competition. It actually brings people together in a very unique way that I always loved about martial arts tournaments. But of course, don't mistake videos for instruction. Rather, get into a good community with good coaching, be it with us and our doctorate physical therapists and elite athletes or otherwise. But if you do incorporate them into your training, you're going to immediately see how your cardio is pushed to the limit and beyond. Your aerobic activity will increase, your anaerobic activity will increase, and so will all of your coordination, power, and dexterity. When I see athletes in certain disciplines like MMA or gymnastics or even ball sports like basketball and football, I've noticed certain deficiencies that kata training often helps resolve. Now, many of you watching this channel may not want to be a professional athlete, but I can assure you from personal experience and droves of student experience that kata training will benefit you tremendously, and we'll dive in deep into how in a moment. You see, doing katas for many repetitions builds masterful strength and skill through transitions and variations of movement, which is preventative of injury and builds supreme physical awareness. Here's another example kata from the ninja strength element of Powerbatics. And to continue the explanation a little further in depth while this plays, in many mainstream training methods in athletics, there is sometimes a clunkiness, a lack of adaptability when put in unusual positions, and an inability to go off axis or redirect energy in the blink of an eye that's critical to athleticism, fighting, and of course all of life. It's really weird actually when you think about it. You think that a person who cross-trains in boxing, wrestling, and striking would be ready for MMA, but often they're lacking that extra something special. Yet I see breakdancers who practice sets that are very similar to katas regularly do incredibly well crossing over to grappling and fighting. And remember, I don't endorse no holds barred TBI type stuff, but use it as an example for the most extreme forms of unpredictability in life. Say for sport karate, people who've done katas, tricking, and point fighting, and they'll come into MMA and have such incredible movement and versatility and do fantastic. Or you might think that a gymnast would be able to pick up breakdancing or grappling or do flows like dyna combos really easily because of training 8 hours a day and every kind of movement you can imagine for decades. But that's actually the group of people I've seen in my experience try something new and get injured the most. Don't get me wrong, they do incredible things given that context, but I hypothesized the reason for the disconnect is because because their movement is very linear and sagittal in nature. Their equipment is also extremely rigid, set to specific individualized specifications, and their training follows very strict, regimented guidelines, which are all awesome given a specific context. But here's my point. Versatility is extremely valuable. I don't want to be confined to a specific paradigm of movement, and as I create a universe of real-life Marvel characters, it's important to help them build real-world adaptability, strength, and skill, like the students you're seeing on the screen right now. It's like when Bruce Lee said, "To be bound by traditional martial arts style or styles is the way of the mindless, enslaved martial artist. But to be inspired by the traditional martial art and to achieve further heights is the way of genius." And I think this applies to all physical training as well. And to quote him again, "When one has no form, one can be all forms. When one has no style, one can fit in with any style." You see, Kata's helped me achieve the versatility, strength, and dexterity with all of my students, plus the sharpness, the removal of stutter stepping and second guessing, the precision. Even if sometimes they don't like doing them, they're beaming after they complete it with success. It's similar to how Picasso is known for completely upending the art world with 20th century cubism, but few people know he could also draw realistically. He mastered the basics, where realistic drawing is like learning a kata, but he also had the versatility to do whatever he wanted, being all forms. And the basics blended together into complex patterns of movement in katas creates both the fundamental strength and skill plus the coordination, cardio, and dexterity to master any style and be no style. As we create this universe of Pacific Rim Athletics characters with special skills, strength, cardio, and versatility, katas are an essential key in that quest. And if you apply these principles, you'll begin seeing the development of your own avatar of special skills, just like everyone in Pacific Rim Athletics. Practicing the same things over and over is no doubt good, but it can also lead to staleness and stagnation and enslavement. That was Bruce Lee's overarching point regarding traditional martial arts. And so not only do we utilize kata training, but we also implement this principle for all physical training: freshness. So third, although a high amount of repetitions are necessary, we constantly modify and upgrade katas in order to maintain physical and mental freshness. Plus, every time you move up a level, you have to learn something brand spanking new. Here is another example kata from Power Moves element of Powerbatics. And as this plays, we'll discuss the best way to implement. Our training block for new students online is 30 to 45 minutes. At the facility, it's 90 minutes. Either way, training can grow into a 90-minute block. And sometimes more advanced students will grow all the way into 2 90-minute blocks per day. I teach to do warm-up first, then strength if a beginner, but if advanced, go straight to your most difficult katas and skills. At the end of training is flexibility, and then sharing your wins and victories. We do this every training session face-to-face, and online students post in the private group or SMS their coach directly. The point here I want you to implement is to constantly focus on the positive, especially as you learn new things or training gets more difficult. Now, what about the other aspects of training, like the warm-up, strength circuit, and flexibility, or specifically learning katas? You can find more about those on the other videos we create for you for free on this channel. And remember, instead of confining yourself to mainstream methods that leave you stale, stuck, and stagnating, and if you'd rather become a real-life Marvel character in the Pacific Rim universe with advanced cardio, strength, and skills, then add katas plus all the principles we discussed to your mindset and training. And if you do, I promise you, you're going to see massive acceleration in your cardio, strength, skill, and mindset no matter where you are or where you want to get to. Obviously, you can subscribe, but opt in since it's totally free and you'll be able to connect with me and my team and get free resources, PDFs, student videos, competition info for cash prizes, retreats, travel, and more. See you in the next video and in training soon.